Welcome, welcome. I cannot believe, guys. I cannot believe. I seriously cannot believe that I allowed it to be muted for the whole time last time. So I didn't record the whole last time of Stone Age culture, but that's what we're doing again today now because of that. And it's pretty interesting. I mean, when we talk about archaeological culture, this really just means the things that humans make, right? And so it comes down to what's a human. In these early stages of paleoanthropology, like, is Australopithecus making a club out of like a solid piece of wood human culture? Because that is considered the earliest war club, for example. Is literally a well-shaped hardwood stick that was presumably used that way. That was among the things found at the Lomekwi cave in Kenya that are some of the earliest examples of clubs over 3 million years ago. So I've got a club here. Spears are also very old. The oldest surviving spears examples that we have are the Schoningen and Clacton spears from like Germany and Denmark and different parts of Europe. And so that is I'll follow my hunter vision, I suppose. I don't think that's historically accurate. Except it is in a way. I mean, there is a level of perception that people had back then that is kind of hard for us to relate to now. Oh, I shouldn't have given away my clubs like that. Okay. I should follow up on those spears 300, 400 years ago, 400,000 years ago, were made by Neanderthals, presumably. So, they were not balanced in such a way that they could have been used for throwing. They would have been used for thrusting. Ooh, okay, and I survived the bear. Bears were, of course, dreaded back then. I was about to say at the end of the last Primal stream that you could hear me on, that bears were an important source of fat for prehistoric Native Americans because, you know, they didn't have dairy. They didn't have cheese and stuff like that to get their fats before contact. So it came from bear fat, bear grease, beaver grease. You know, I hear that groundhogs are also very greasy. Oh, I'm in a mission. I'm sorry. And from bones. From bone broth. Guard you can. Ooh, there's a fire. There's people in there. I'm not gonna mess with that yet. So yeah, I don't think we have as much evidence of Neanderthals throwing spears or using bow and arrows like they do in this game, but it's definitely cool to see them. Okay, I gotta go in the cave. The oldest bow and arrows were later, and you know, it can only be when I say the oldest ones, you know, I can only speak of the oldest ones that we know of. Lots of things obviously disappeared over time, and we don't have. Yeah, you got the Schroningen spear that was found in Denmark. You got the Clacton spear that I believe was found in Germany. Boomerangs. I'm disappointed to not see boomerangs in this game, because those were an ancient weapon that was found, you know, as anciently as like 50,000 or more years ago. So when we come down to things as basic as spears and clubs, it's not even Homo sapiens inventing them. It's the earliest examples come from early pre-human hominins. So in the case of the Lombequi site, Australopithecus, which would be one of the earlier we got woolly rhinos here. And ooh. You know, that would happen. That would happen frequently to our ancestors. So it's really a shame that y'all missed me doing this outpost. You missed I mean, if you were watching it on the last stream, you didn't, but I did some really fun parts of the game, and let's see here. Looks like there's still some outposts up here we can do. I realized at the very end I was muted the whole time. I was like, oh, come on. So, Stone Age technology. Very important, differed a lot across different parts of the world. You had besides technology for warfare like spears and stuff, you had technology for preserving food or for gathering food was very important. So like I mentioned earlier, fish weirs, fish drying racks and like for smoking fish was something that was practiced a lot, that allowed the fish to last longer before people had refrigeration or any kind of modern methods of preservation, or even salt. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna Leroy Jenkins this one. Oh geez, here we go. Oh geez. Can we make it? These guys are just Neanderthals after all. Don't be deceived. Neanderthals had a very similar brain volume to modern humans, although that doesn't actually tell you a lot. We can look at the skulls of hominins that we find in fossils, but and look at the volume and see how large their brain could have been, or really must have been, for it to not be bouncing around. But that doesn't tell you how smooth or rough it was, and that actually makes a big difference in terms of the computing power, so to speak, of the brain. So if you have a bigger brain but it's smoother, you don't have necessarily as much brain power packed in. So say all that to say is, we don't know, by measuring volume of the brain case and the skull of the fossils, how brainy they really were. But we can get a rough idea. Yeah, these earliest Neanderthal spears were made from just wood. The earliest bows were also just made from a single piece of wood and the bowstring, of course. Bowstrings were usually made of sinew, which is like animal ligaments, like a deer's tendons. I don't know medically tendon rather, or ligament, but the stringy part that pulls on the muscles, dried out. So I'm fighting some Neanderthals now. And the famous burial, the Neanderthal burial that I mentioned earlier, is Shanidar the First. I didn't say it was Neanderthal, but it is Neanderthal. So that is an example of a very early example of what am I supposed to do with this guy? I don't know. I'm just gonna leave this in. needs a carrier. Well, yeah, Neanderthals were one of the later hominins. Australopithecus would be one of the earlier ones. And, so for example, we're in the like 3 million year range for Australopithecus, whereas Neanderthals were living in Europe and parts of Western Asia much later and alongside modern humans. And that's why it's fine. It's not ridiculous for them to be in a game like this fighting with modern humans, but I do think that I think it's a very good portrayal, but I think that it possibly still puts later things onto them. Like, I don't necessarily think that they would have been using I don't think they would have been using bow and arrow so much. If this is 10,000 BC, you know. There's a lot of them. I might not make it through. Okay. But Shanadar 1, of course, is significant. Not just as an example of a Neanderthal burial, but as an example of religious and funerary practice in like an earliest example, like in a non-modern human species. Also an example of mutual aid and care in the fact that the person was healed from a broken bone that they had that would have been debilitating during their life. They managed to make it through and be healed, and that showed that they were cared for by other people in their society. Alright, let's do this. Let's move these guys. Enough talk. We know what a Neanderthal is. But now, let's learn how to take one down. Let's learn why the Neanderthal is extinct. Went extinct. It was because of me. Oh, was that a kid, like a civilian? Oops, I'm sorry. Okay. Break conquer, human gang, non-human gang. I say modern human gang because technically, like, we have to kind of say what about other members of the genus, like Neanderthals? They're pretty much way closer. Hey, comrade. What's up? Oops, I shouldn't name people like that. So that is your name. In it there. What's up, man? Yes, thank you. Glad you are watching. Glad people are watching. We love our viewers. Go and subscribe. Support on Patreon and tell your friends. And I know you are. You're awesome, dude. Thanks for the support. Been trying to study, learn about these ancient cultures. Very soon we're moving on to Total War Pharaoh dynasties, and I'll be talking actually a lot about biblical history and things that intersect with the story of the Old Testament first. Peace. Off we go. We got another shot at the snow outpost. We're doing this. We got viewers to not disappoint. Oh my gosh, I wish you guys could have seen me last time. I wish you could have heard me last time. You could have seen me if you were watching. And I sure wish I had that video just separate of my muted self, but you couldn't hear me at all. It was very embarrassing. Newbie streamer problems here. Oh my goodness, am I gonna survive? So it's strongly believed that Neanderthals generally were pushed out of Eurasia as humans moved in, but at the same time they interbred to a certain extent, as we know from modern genetic evidence. That seems to be true of a certain extent of Denisovans as well, another human species besides Neanderthals that lived in Eurasia, and another non-human or non-modern human hominid species as well is present in the modern gene pool. But even with those admixtures, which are relatively slight, those admixtures are most prevalent in non-African people. And however, the genetic similarity of people is also strongest in non-African people. So people who are from the African continent have much more diverse genetics, and that's a function of the fact that we originated as a species in Africa and spread out of Africa. So a lot of our first varieties also came all out of Africa and spread. And there's a founder's effect, which means that, you know, a relatively small founder population, which was, you know, some of the main ones who moved out of there into Asia and Europe, you know, founded sort of the gene pools of those new populations, and those new populations were, as a result, less genetically diverse. At the same time, human populations remained very diverse, even over spreading over a large area, because even as we became more mobile to spread to reach new areas, we also became more mobile to reach each other and do our thing, do the nasty, and do the wholesome, and raise babies to adulthood. And people did that with each other across large distances throughout history, and that's why there's a lot of gene flow that ensures a constant flow of the genes, so that different populations don't split off and become inbred. People were always kind of coming through and spreading their genes, if you know what I mean. Wherever you were. And it's interesting to see places in more recent times that have had, oh my goodness, that's a leopard. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, the jaguar. Sorry. Just getting attacked by a jaguar there. In more recent times, you know, societies have had gift exchanges over very long distances, and that kind of has been postulated as an example of something that might have also existed in prehistoric times. For example, in England, like Stonehenge, it's now known that most of the stone, the blue stone that makes up the hinge, comes from Wales, except for the altar stone, which comes from like the furthest north part of Scotland. So what that tells us is that there was an island spanning network of ceremonial practice, or at least trade, that was able to bring this ceremonial practice together of building this hinge. And it was a monumental task, like with any of the dolmens, or yeah, any of these things. This will be a cool one. We're doing a swamp outpost. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about the Neanderthal stuff we missed. You guys missed. I'm mad about that. I'm gonna try to say silly dumb things though, instead of cursing on stream for the kids watching. Yeah. Just take a moment. Just try to put yourself in the headspace. I'm out here in the swamp. Alright. Realistically, guys, this settlement would be up on this berm, or one of these other, kind of like how they have in Red Dead 2, where the camp is up kind of on a peninsula on a berm. That is very realistic. That is also where prehistoric people would have wanted to camp. They wouldn't, this would flood regularly down here, so they wouldn't probably have wanted to be down here. Except, plus imagine the bugs. We don't have to deal with the bugs in the game, but just look at this place. Imagine the bugs. And smoke and fires would sometimes be used to drive off the bugs. But the bugs would be seriously intense here. I think they would probably rather set up their camp up on something where they can kind of have, gotcha, have a little bit of a little bit of dryness. Imagine getting up to go pee at night from your tent and you like step in the mosquito water. Step in this one. I guess they're just built different, obviously. But still, they are human, you know? You need to think of it like that. Think of if I was someone living in this situation, what would I want to do? I would want to get up on these hills, like right up there, rather than trying to build all this stuff down here. Because this stuff would rot very quick. Even if I didn't kill everybody and burn it first. Haha. I got you. I got you. Y'all are next. Y'all are going the way of the Neanderthals. Let's go. Come at me. It's interesting that, like, I guess this place is a place for, like, harvesting these flowers, harvesting dyes or something. Like, they're covered in this blue dye, and that is something I love about the Far Cry, is that, like, you can see this in Far Cry 4 as well. Like, the environmental storytelling of how, like, the industries and stuff that you see in the game reveal just organically how they make the stuff that they're using. It's really cool sometimes to see that. Definitely tricky. It's not nighttime anymore. And these buildings are made of thatch, as you can see. It's basically like grass stacked on itself. Packed very tightly to keep out moisture. We're gonna get them. Doesn't matter if they're settled. We're gonna settle for this defeat here. Oh no. Oh no. We can do this. We can do this. Boom. 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 Hopefully we get chat back. We get some chat up here. Don't worry, I won't name you like that. Bro just came in here with his name. Had me feeling much too comfortable. Like I was right then. I'm going pretty brazen here, but I'm still undetected. Where should I go next? Let's get him. Some cover that's not in the middle of the town. Put myself out around. Not gonna have cover, huh? Oh man. Oh man. Alright, let's get him. Let's definitely get these boys. Ooh, you can't stop me. Ooh. Oh, yes they can. They just did. So guys, please let me know if you have any other questions about the Stone Age or about paleoanthropology. Like I said, we are very likely going to move on to ancient times very soon and stay on that for as long as I feel like, which could be a long, that's like one of my favorite things. So we might need to set up a system of how often to cycle through these things. Like, I know you don't want me to stay on this stuff for the proportion of the thousands and thousands of years humanity stayed in the Stone Age and like never get to the modern stuff that's really interesting that I'm kind of already doing. So the swamp outpost, we'll do this one by the end of the stream, I'm sure. We got this. I just gotta get serious here. I don't know if I'm serious enough to keep killing the civvy though. We can go for... Oh shit. Nope, they didn't see me. I did cuss on stream, that's not ideal, but... Oh, shoink. That's not ideal either. Undetected, and I haven't even barely killed anybody. How have I stabbed him so much and he's not dead? Are you kidding me? We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this, chat. We got this. We're gonna do this very stealthily. Most definitely. Most definitely. That's crazy. That's crazy. I snuck him and I was just pummeling him and he just... I did get him eventually, but that's kind of wild. Oh my goodness. I might make it though. I might make it though, for real. Ooh. This is my signature technique of just like running circles around the place, like kind of like zombies, really. Nope, not gonna work. Not gonna work this time. Well, I kind of didn't do it. I kind of doubled back too hard. Here we go. Shoink. Yeah, like I said, boats were found, like, the oldest as old as, like, 8,000 BC, I think, or older. And, that's only what we found. It's, certainly ancient people were using boats a lot, and, many of the continents were reached by humans for the first time by boats very early on. That includes Australia, which we put at like 50,000 BC, I think. Man, rushing that guy too fast is a bad idea. I might need to kind of try to sneak around the whole place here. You know, living on the rivers, taking lots of fish, and having a semi-settled, sometimes horticultural lifestyle that characterizes the people of the Mesolithic, as it's called in Old World archaeology, which is the Middle Stone Age. And you can't really match these up well to different places, you know, it just depends. When it comes to the oldest things, all we have is, instead of historical records, the tools and the weapons and the items that they had. But what that means is, oh my goodness. That increasingly, the further back, the less we can say different kinds of details about things that were going on in their society, and the more we can only say stuff about that, like here's what we found. So when it comes to the Stone Age, when I'm telling you what we know about the Stone Age, it's a very different kind of discussion from what we know about things that are coming soon. Ancient Egypt, ancient Rome, because there are written documents, of course. Studying those documents is a big part of history, and winning these games is a big part of Twitch streaming that I am catching up on here. I'm not being stealthy at all. I under-delivered, I know, on the promise of being stealthy, and that's because I lost all patience and I said fuck it. I just want to pop these blue guys in the mouth. Popping me, but right back. Oh no. No way I would be able to even get away from that in real life. Okay, I didn't. It's a very famous find called Ötzi, the Iceman. Was found in, I believe, Switzerland or Italy, northern Italy, and somewhere in the Alps. And a person who died violently by combat in the Stone Age. Their stomach was analyzed, their whole inventory was analyzed, and it's very interesting. They were on an adventure. They had eaten goose meat and, you know, different things that they had foraged around there. And they were equipped with a full gear, just like our protagonist here, of like weapons, Stone Age, a copper axe and a bow and arrow and stuff. And I'm not certain that there was a copper axe, but you get the idea. And they had a lot of amenities that would have helped them survive out in the wilderness, and they were shot in the back full of arrows. So that goes to show, you know, kind of a dramatic example of how violent life could be, even though in general, in the earlier parts of the Stone Age, people weren't dying from violence as often because there just weren't as many people to fight and as much population density for these wars to happen. But once there was, ooh boy, they did happen. I don't care, guys. We're gonna beat this outpost. I have no time limit on that today. That is my priority. I will give the people what they want. There's actually a movie that they made about Otzi the Iceman, his like quest, his ill-fated quest for, I guess, revenge. Is it a quest for fire? That's one caveman movie. It's I think it's called either a quest for fire or something else, maybe just the Iceman. I give a moment to respect the Iceman. For those who know, mad respect. Mad respect. Oh no, he came up from behind. I should have expected that. I was shooting from one spot so long. Yes, there was certainly warfare in prehistoric times. It was certainly less common in the absence of states, and, you know, the scale of everything was just much smaller back then. Alright, I'm doing pretty good. I've been stealthy so far. I haven't been seen. I've got most of the horns. Or I think I've got all the horns. I've got all of the stationary horns. I think that might be the one. Oh yes, I think that was the one horn guy left. Oh, now if I can just survive. I don't think they can call for reinforcements. Oh, I think I'm safe from the reinforcements. I just gotta protect myself from these guys. Got him, got him. Here we go. Nice, welcome chatter. We're learning about the Stone Age. Putting the term learning kind of loosely, but I definitely spat out some facts earlier. And oh my goodness, you're learning how to beat the swamp outpost. Oh no, you're not. Oh, you're learning how to lose like a big fat loser like me. But I know a thing or two about the Stone Age and history more broadly. And that's what this channel is all about, spreading history knowledge through history games. And check this out. Oh, that's cool, right? History's cool. History is very cool. So many interesting things happened. Besides people just killing each other. There is also invention of pottery. It's a very big deal in prehistoric times. The invention of agriculture. Both of these things. Both of those things are very much it. So those are very much things associated with the Neolithic. Maybe pottery is more so the Mesolithic, but most definitely. You know, I know I said I would do this one, but I might just close out soon. But thank you guys so much for showing up. Oh, see, oh, I feel like that is the game telling me I need to quit. I suck. Alright. I'm gonna try and make it for you guys. Try and do something interesting, but no promises here. I'm out. One more try. Let's see what we can do. But as we hunted off the mammoths and the other megafauna, the giant ground sloths and the other huge woolly rhinos and creatures like that, the arrows that people were using became much smaller. So we were hunting stuff more like turkeys and squirrels and stuff like that. So and using a bow and arrow in general makes it smaller. So when we were using atlatls, they were bigger, and when we were hunting mammoths, they were bigger. So both of those changes made them progressively smaller over time, and this was enabled by improvements in stoneworking technology. where people became better at flint knapping and were able to break the flint into smaller and smaller chunks, allowing to make these tiny arrowheads. I'm probably gonna die pretty soon here, and that's gonna be it, guys. I'm not gonna keep trying. I'm sorry. But thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'll see you guys next time on Bread Conqueror. And keep learning about the Stone Age prehistory. Very soon we'll be learning about the ancient history. And it's all very basic, all very intro level. No need to feel intimidated by the subject matter. Go pick up a book and go form your own opinion, so you can come argue with me in the comment section. I'm doing surprisingly okay. I spoke too soon. Alright. It's nice knowing you, chat. Thank you guys for supporting the channel.